Many years ago, I was chatting with a neighbour at my parents' home on beautiful Saturna Island, located between Vancouver and Victoria on British Columbia's idyllic west coast. She asked me what I did for a living, and I told her I was a tax accountant. She assumed I meant personal tax returns, so I told her I did corporate tax work primarily for companies claiming tax incentives for research and development. I could see from her reaction she thought I was talking about large corporations like Microsoft or General Motors, but what I really meant was companies like Antony Scott Systems Design Limited. A small Canadian-controlled private corporation with a single shareholder and maybe two software developers on payroll. The truth is that most of us have a somewhat distorted view of the world around us. Talk about the world of business and corporate tax, and most Canadians wouldn't realise that more than half of Canadians working in the private sector work for companies with fewer than 50 employees. What's more, these firms average only about 3.3 staff members. Not long ago, I read a series of articles in Canada's Globe and Mail, supposedly Canada's national business paper. The reporter described 3 successful startups out of Toronto. One of them had more than 500 employees. That would have made it a large corporation, according to Statistics Canada. The other 2 had 150 and 220, respectively. None of those 3 companies were startups. Sure, they might have been at some point, but the same could be said of Google or Microsoft. That was when I began to realize the importance of statistics. Statistics help us to see the world as it really is.
Studies suggest that fully 7% of the humans that have ever lived are alive today. Oxford University's Our World in Data has determined that 96% of the biomass of mammals on the planet is made up of human beings and their livestock. Only 4% of mammals by weight are still wild. Today, scientists argue whether or not we have created a new epoch distinct from the Holocene. Proponents say we have significantly altered the Earth through human activity. These changes include global warming, habitat loss, changes in the chemical composition of the atmosphere, oceans and soil, and animal extinctions. Although the new epoch has yet to be officially declared, the Working Group on the Anthropocene, the WGA, believe that the Earth has now entered a new epoch.
We are clearly a social species. This fact elevates the importance of the so-called social sciences like economics, sociology, management, education, and political science. However, despite their pretensions, these fields of study are not sciences. Economist Russ Roberts said it very well in his book How Adam Smith Can Change Your Life. We fool ourselves about our worldview, our ideology, our religion, the evidence of our senses, and the interpretation of the world that we use to construct our beliefs. All the evidence we notice and remember confirms our views. Everything else is ignored or forgotten, or better, dismissed based on flaws in the analysis. From our perspective, understanding social interactions at a macro level demands that we use statistics intelligently. The sad truth is that in this polarized world, our social scientists seem to have formed competing orthodoxies. Conservatives are suspicious of what they see as woke conspiracies from social scientists in our universities, while buying into what the Harvard Business School and neoclassical economists want to sell them. On the other side, liberals point to evidence-based policies that support their points of view. Under scrutiny, most such policies are simply opinion-based.